Imagine trading, your comfortable life for this intense Alaskan wilderness adventure, pushing yourself, pushing a team of dogs, like right to their absolute limits. It's the world's most grueling race.
Hmm.
So today, we're taking a deep dive into that raw, unfiltered experience of the Iditarod. And we're doing it through the eyes of Brian Patrick O'Donoghue. He was a journalist who kind of incredibly dared to attempt the nearly 1,200-mile race himself
Yeah.
as a musher with almost no experience.
Yeah, it's quite a story. And the sources you've given us, they really paint this vivid picture. You get the human endurance, the animal side, the brutal realities of these extreme sports,
Right.
and just the weird, surprising stuff that happens out there on the trail,
So our mission here is really to pull out the key nuggets, the insights from this incredible journey. We're talking, everything from the dogs themselves, their personalities,
which are amazing.
totally, all the way to the logistical nightmares, the despair, but also those moments of just unexpected triumph.
Exactly.
By the end, you'll really get a shortcut to understanding what it actually takes to face Alaska's last great race.
So, okay, let's unpack this.
Right. So Brian Patrick O'Donoghue, his leap into the Iditarod, it's kind of mind-blowing, really. His background was just all over the place. Cab driver, cargo ship wiper, elevator mechanics helper, journalist,
Wow.
and his mushing experience. Basically zero. He'd run this tiny, 2.3-mile novice race years before. That was it.
Hold on. 2.3 miles
Yeah.
to nearly 1,200. That's not just a leap. That's like jumping canyons.
Exactly. And he knew it was madness, pretty much. But the motivation, it was simple, really. He just felt that if he missed this chance, it would torment him forever.
Ah, that classic what if, that fear of regret.
Yep, that push to face the impossible. But, you can't do this alone. You need a team and the dogs. Well, what kind of characters was Brian working with on this audacious journey?
Yeah, tell us about the dogs. Okay, this is where it gets really fascinating. Because the dogs aren't just, power sources. They're individuals, real personalities, each one playing this crucial role.
Like who?
Well, take Rainey, described as shy, often hiding in her box, but put her in the harness. Completely different dog.
Oh, yeah.
She becomes bossy, super hardworking. She was the kennel's mileage leader, logged over 1,000 conditioning miles, most of that leading the team.
Wow.
And she had this surprising promiscuity, apparently humped any dog nearby, male or female, earned her the nickname, the kennel's resident lesbian.
No way. From shy dog to bossy, promiscuous leader. That's quite the transformation.
Isn't it? And then you've got Harley. Totally different. Sounds like a complete enigma.
Oh, so?
Huge dog. Twice Rainey's size, apparently.
Yeah.
Lumbering stride, big floppy ears. Just this hulking figure. But his performance? Totally unpredictable.
Predictable good or...
Both. Maury, who was Brian's coach, friend, kind of mentor figure.
Yeah.
He constantly doubted Harley. Thought he was just always hungry, always gunning for the food dish.
Okay.
Even after Harley had apparently dragged a completely baffled partner all the way to Nome in a previous race.
So he could do it.
Right. But Maury thought his bill was just all wrong, that he'd never make it. But then you have Leroy Shank, this two-time Iditarod vet, who actually loaned Harley to Brian.
Oh, interesting. Contrasting views.
Totally. Shank had seen Harley race well before. He believed Harley could drag you to Nome all by himself. But yeah, that food obsession was constant. Brian apparently set him seconds, thirds, even fourths sometimes. Harley was just never satisfied.
Huh. Sounds like a character. So, Rainey the surprising leader, Harley the hulking enigma. Any other memorable dogs in this rather unique team?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There was Cyrus, Rum's grandson, just a pup, really barely two, painfully loud apparently, whined day and night, just boundless energy.
Like puppy energy times 1,000.
Pretty much. Maury tried everything to tire him out, 50-mile runs. Eventually just threw his hands up, said, I can't tire that dog out. Then you had White Rat, smart but lazy. The queen of all dogs apparently drove Maury nuts with her calculated laziness.
Sounds like she knew how to work the system.
Totally. And Chad, described as a basket case, prone to weird antics but fast when he wanted to be. And Raven, the little black-haired princess who kept darting side to side, tripping Rainey. And later, also developed a bit of a humping habit.
So quite the crew. It sounds like managing this team wasn't just about physical strength, it was psychology too.
Exactly. What this really shows is that in something like the Iditarod, success isn't just about raw power. It's about understanding and leveraging the unique quirks and instincts of every single member, human and canine.
And it sounds like those quirks were tested right from the start. The sources mention some pretty chaotic early mishaps, even before the Iditarod itself kicked
Oh,
off.
yeah. During the Klondike race, for instance, Sandy, one of Brian's handlers, got flung clear off the sled at a turn. Just skidded across the snow like a bowling pin. Yeah. Other teams apparently went careening right over snow machines left on the trail.
Mm.
And one veteran musher caught his leg under a fallen log, ended up with a compound fracture.
Jeez. So right away, you're seeing the extreme nature of this whole thing.
Definitely sets the stage. Which brings us to the Iditarod Trail itself. The brutal realities. Because it wasn't just about physical endurance being tested, right?
What else were they up against?
Well, the elements are just relentless. The cold, first off, it's a constant battle.
How cold are we talking?
Sub-zero, way below freezing. Brian got frostbitten cheeks pretty early on. Said they felt rock hard to the touch. He had to go all out to protect himself. Invested in this massive, like, triple extra large snow machine suit, a lambskin hat, smeared Vaseline all over his face, chemical hand warmers, the whole deal. Plus those iconic bunny boots.
And he wasn't the only one struggling with frostbite.
Not at all. Brian Carver apparently got frozen fingers and toes. Rick Swenson, one of the legends, frost-nipped his hands, just trying to fix something on his sled.
Man, just the cold alone sounds terrifying. But it wasn't just the cold, was it? I read something about moose.
Oh, the moose. Yeah. That's another level of danger entirely.
Oh, so.
Imagine facing down a moose on a narrow trail in the middle of nowhere, especially in winter. They're starving, they're irritable from fighting through deep snow.
Okay, that sounds genuinely terrifying.
It is. Susan Butcher, the legendary musher, she had this horrific attack back in '85. A moose just stomped right into her team, killed 2 of her dogs, injured 13 others. Just devastating.
My God, what do you even do in that situation?
That's the thing. What can you do? Kathy Swenson, another musher, actually had to shoot a small moose that barreled right into her team and started kicking her dogs.
Wow, so it's a real life-threatening possibility.
Absolutely. A lot of the time, mushers just had to rely on luck to avoid encounters. And then there's the terrain itself. That adds another layer of difficulty.
Like what?
You've got stretches of deep, soft snow where the dogs just bogged down. Mushers sometimes had to get off and snowshoe ahead just to pack a trail for the team.
That sounds exhausting on top of everything else.
Totally. Then you'd hit icy patches where the snow hook, that metal anchor they used to break or hold the sled, just wouldn't bite. The sled could just take off.
Okay.
And the trail to Rainy Pass was described as this gauntlet of jagged sticks and stumps, just constantly battering the sleds.
It's just incredible. The sheer, like, multifaceted brutality of it all. It's testing everything: endurance, gear, nerve.
Absolutely. Every aspect of your preparedness and your resolve.
So what about the physical and mental toll on the mushers themselves?
Oh, it's immense. The exhaustion is profound. You hear about Barry Lee getting severe cramping just from dehydration after dozing off accidentally.
Yeah.
John Terhune twisted his back, got a nasty eye infection, but stubbornly refused any painkillers because he was worried they'd make him sleepy.
That's hardcore.
Isn't it? And Brian himself talks about the physical pain, the disorientation, the constant lack of sleep just leads to this brain fog, moments where you're not even sure if you're going uphill or downhill anymore.
Wow. Just trying to keep going must have been monumental.
Absolutely.
So with all these challenges, the cold, the moose, the terrain, the exhaustion, I can only imagine the logistical side of things. Supporting a race like this, it must be a nightmare.
Oh, the logistics are a whole saga in themselves.
Yeah, like what? Give us an example.
Okay, food drops. The scale is just staggering. We're talking like 3,000 pounds of ground beef, 900 pounds of liver, 600 pounds of lamb, all shipped in from Montana for the dogs.
Whoa.
Brian talks about fighting the urge to just scream while he's trying to dig through other mushers' massive, like 50-pound blocks of frozen meat just to find his own supplies at the checkpoints.
Chaos.
Total chaos. And then there's this kind of funny but also disastrous story about Maury and Brian making these honey balls for the dogs.
Honey balls.
Yeah, it's supposed to be this high-energy snack. Like 100 pounds of raw chopped beef, 20 pounds of honey, 2 gallons of corn oil, all mixed up, meant to freeze into neat portions.
Okay, how did that turn out?
Disaster. They ended up with these giant, half-frozen cow pies run together like cookies baked too close on the sheet, totally unusable.
Oh no, all that effort.
Gone. And beyond the food, just gear was a constant struggle. Brian was using this borrowed cooker that had a toilet paper. Wait, sounds weird, but apparently it worked better than a fancier one.
Sometimes simple is better, I guess.
Maybe. And repairs were nonstop. Patching dog harnesses with dental floss, trying to fix busted sled runners out in the middle of nowhere. Felt like these hellish gambles, he said.
So it's like you plan meticulously, but reality just constantly throws curveballs.
Exactly. Meticulous planning meets unpredictable reality. All the time.
And what about controlling the dogs, especially when you're that exhausted? You mentioned Harley's food obsession. Did that cause problems?
Oh, did it ever? That's a perfect example of logistics meeting animal instinct. Brian tells this story. It's frustrating, but also kind of grimly funny.
What happened?
Harley, following his nose, led the entire team straight into the village dump at Unalakleed.
Oh no, not the Gump.
Yep. The dogs just went nuts. Triggered a full-on riot, tearing into buried garbage bags, wrestling over scraps. Brian described them as being intoxicated by the smells, totally gripped by instinct. His authority meant nothing.
What did he do?
He was apparently close to tears, just completely worn out. He had to abandon the team there, scrambling up this huge trash pile just to try and signal for help to get them out.
Man, that's rough. It really underscores that this race isn't just about driving dogs, is it?
Not at all. It's this monumental logistical puzzle, constantly battling the elements, your own body, and, yeah, sometimes the primal instincts of your team, often with chaotic, weirdly human results.
That's a really powerful way to put it. So, connecting this bigger picture, the Iditarod isn't just about the physical challenge, it's also about the people out there, the human element. Who are some of the key figures, the rivalries that shaped Brian's experience on the trail?
Right. There's this whole cast of characters you encounter. You've got Maury, Brian's coach, the sports writer friend. He was apparently obsessed with beating this guy, John Suter, known as the Poodle Man.
The Poodle Man.
Seriously.
Yeah. Famous or infamous for mushing standard poodles in the race years ago. Maury really wanted to beat his time.
Okay, that's a unique rivalry. Who else?
There was Mike Rattles Kramer, described as this boisterous, really gossipy dog man. Got his nickname Rattles from working a jackhammer, apparently. Lived pretty rough, no running water at home.
Real careless.
Definitely. And Joe Reddington Sr., the guy who founded the Iditarod. He was 70 years old at the time. And he made this incredible late race surge. I was actually leading the pack at one point. Became this huge sensation.
Wow, at 70.
Incredible. And of course, you had the big rivalry looming over everything. Susan Butcher versus Rick Swenson. Both absolute legends. Both vying for multiple wins. That was the big headline battle.
So amidst all that intensity and hardship, were there moments of just humanity? Or even humor?
Oh, definitely. The weirdness of trail life brings that out.
Sure.
Brian mentions sharing the trail briefly with another musher who was just openly smoking pot while mushing.
Yep. And another musher, Tom Daly, apparently found this veteran named Cooley just fast asleep, sitting on the toilet in a laundromat at one of the checkpoints.
Passed out on the toilet. That's peak exhaustion right there.
Tells you everything, doesn't it? But it wasn't all weirdness. The bond between the dogs and mushers could be really profound, too.
Like that story about Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie, this supposedly devious lead dog who apparently started faking an injury, just kept collapsing dramatically.
Why?
The theory was he just really didn't want to go all the way to Nome again. Bill Peel, a rookie musher using him, spent hours trying to coax him, plead with him, get him back in the harness. Ultimately, no luck. Charlie was done.
Wow. The dogs definitely have their own minds.
Absolutely. And beyond the dogs, there were these moments of unexpected kindness out there, too.
From other people?
Yeah. Like a trapper who went out looking for mushers caught in a storm, brought them back to his cabin, offered hot coffee and dried salmon. Total stranger.
That's amazing.
And villagers along the route often opened their homes, welcomed tired, freezing mushers with food, warmth, a place to crash for a few hours, just offering this real sense of community in the middle of that vast wilderness.
That's really heartening. It wasn't all just brutal competition then.
Not entirely. Though sometimes even cooperation had its tensions. Mushers often formed these informal convoys to travel together, especially through dangerous sections.
Made sense for safety, I guess.
Yeah. Brian teamed up with Barry Lee and Alan Garth to cross Sullivan Creek, which was apparently really dangerous, rushing water. They literally carried dogs across one by one.
Wow.
But these convoys weren't always smooth sailing. People got frustrated with the group's speed or argued over sharing supplies. There's mention of Catherine Mormeal getting into it with Sepp Herman about something. So, human dynamics, even out there.
Right. And Brian, being a journalist himself, he must have had a unique perspective on how the race was perceived, the media side of it.
Definitely. He was very aware of the media coverage, the pressure sponsors put on the front runners like IAM Company on Rick Swenson. And he experienced that weirdness of becoming a minor local celebrity himself, just because he was the guy starting first. People recognized him.
It really does become this whole microcosm of society, doesn't it? Competition, cooperation, media, personalities, just condensed and pushed to the extreme.
Perfectly put. And all of this, it builds towards the final push, the race to Nome, which becomes this ultimate test of will, marked by moments of just profound despair, incredible resilience, and that symbolic journey towards the Red Lantern.
Yeah, let's talk about those breakdowns, because it sounds like people really hit the wall out there.
Oh, absolutely. Near breakdowns were common. Barry Lee apparently had this full emotional collapse on the trail at one point, just sobbing, feeling like everyone else was way faster, that he couldn't keep up.
Understandable, given the pressure.
Totally. And Carpenter, another musher, had what was described as a flame out, became totally disoriented, started yelling at his dogs. He eventually got disqualified because he accepted outside help, which is a strict no-no.
So people were genuinely losing it.
Yeah. And Brian himself, he really struggled with despair, especially towards the end. In those final miles, he seriously considered scratching, just quitting, giving up on everything he'd been through. You could almost feel his morale just plummeting in the writing.
But they didn't all quit. There had to be resilience, too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Resilience often won out. Take Rainey, Brian's lead dog.
Oh.
Even with injuries, like a limping wrist, she just kept leading. Showed this unwavering confidence, even in whiteout conditions. Just pure spirit.
Amazing.
And John Terhune, the guy who refused painkillers. Despite the back pain, the eye infection, losing his main lead dog, Dandy, and feeling like he had the slowest dogs in the race. He just refused to give up.
What kept him going?
Stubbornness, maybe. He actually sort of deliberately chose to be last. Seemed to find this quiet satisfaction in just finishing. Showing the fools, as he put it. Crossing the finish line alone, totally unbothered by where anyone else placed.
That's a different kind of victory, isn't it?
It really is.
Yes.
Which brings us perfectly to the Red Lantern.
Right, the award for the last place finisher. It's such a famous symbol in the Iditarod. How did Brian feel about potentially getting it?
Well, his journey with the lantern idea is fascinating because initially he dreaded it, saw it as the booby prize, basically. He was actively trying to outrun the other mushers at the back of the pack just to avoid being last.
So he didn't want it at first.
Not at all. But somewhere along those final grueling miles, his perspective shifted.
How so?
By the end, he fully embraced it. He went from being dead last and kind of wishing he could just sneak into Nome unnoticed to proudly hoisting that shiny red lantern. It had a little brass dog on top right above his head at the finish line.
Wow. So it became a symbol of accomplishment.
Exactly. A testament to just finishing this monumental race. And he even set a new, albeit quirky, record. The first musher ever to start the race in first position and finish in last.
Huh. That's one for the books. What was his final time?
22 days, 5 hours, 55 minutes, and 55 seconds.
Incredible. So what was that finish line actually like in Nome?
A real mix of triumph and just collapse. Brian describes it as payback time. The second he touched that finish arch, his body just fell apart.
After holding it together for so long.
For 22 days, yeah. He talks about sensory overload. The sun suddenly felt blindingly bright. All the voices just merged into this loud locker room din. And then there's this symbolic moment of blowing out the kerosene lamp that had been burning at the finish line since the race started. That officially ended the race for him.
Must have been intense. How was his reception?
Really celebratory, actually. People cheered. He even had this kind of chummy exchange with Rick Swenson, the winner. Swenson acknowledged how tough it is for the folks at the back of the pack.
That's cool.
Yeah, Swenson even made a joke, saying Brian would have twice as much to write about since it took him twice as long to finish.
Huh. A bit of musher humor there at the end.
Seems like it. Emphasizes the hugely different experiences between the winner and the last place finisher, even though both crossed the same line.
So reflecting on all this, we've journeyed with Brian Patrick O'Donoghue through that freezing wilderness. We've faced down imaginary moose with him, battled the exhaustion, witnessed those incredible dog bonds. This deep dive, it really feels like it's about more than just a race, doesn't it? It's about pushing way beyond what you think your limits are.
Absolutely. It's a story of extreme endurance, yeah, but also adaptation, psychology, logistics, luck, everything thrown together.
Which leads to a final thought. You know, in a race like this one, where thankfully only 6 dogs out of maybe 1,400 died that year, but where so many mushers risked everything, their health, their sanity, what does success truly look like?
That's a great question.
Is it crossing the finish line first? Or is it maybe just crossing it at all? Getting yourself and your team through it, maybe not intact, but changed, with experiences and insights you could never have gotten any other way.
Yeah.
What does that tell you, listening now, about maybe your own limits, and what you might be willing to endure for what Brian called an unforgettable adventure. Something to think about.